Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to Ali Kamanova Yoga. I'm Ali, and today I am bringing you a very quick, hopefully, because I'm busy cleaning and just house stuff. A very quick video on face yoga. Now, that's not my expertise, that's not my field, so feel free to keep exploring and also sharing your results with me, please, in the future and now. But I'll tell you what I've condensed my face yoga routine to. It is working. I'm sure I could develop an even better. There is always the search for better. As I get older, the old stuff is not enough. So, and I'm not giving up. So I'm 44 and I'm not quite ready to give up and just let everything be the way it would with the sun damage and everything. I'm still doing things not in an obsessed way. I don't consider that the shell or costume is us, but taking good care of it is okay, as long as you have the perspective that this is just a good, beautiful, precious suit that you're given and you're in possession of, and it's your responsibility to really keep it in good condition. I was going to say mint, but we're all going to age, and that is something I feel that a lot of people in the health community would make it sound like you could forever delay aging and be youthful forever, and there is a little dark side to this, because first of all, there is resistance, there is no surrender, and also it's not true. We are meant to be a flower and go through the stages of a flower, with acceptance and grace, of course, grace, and but at the same time, we can dedicate the way we try to be healthy, and the reason why I personally want to be healthy or look a certain way is not so that I can look a different age or in a different way. I just wanna to some degree exude energy, or that I'm feeling healthy or good, etc. You know what I mean. I want to reflect that in some ways, while I also accept the aging process. So that's just a side note. I feel like I should make this side note because a lot of you are probably my age, and I'm sure I do have an older audience and a younger audience, etc. But that's more for the younger audience to just prepare to flow. Prepare to flow. The more we resist things, the less we understand the meaning of life. Anyways, let's not make this about the spiritual aspect, which I love. I love that subject, but I'll keep that for the classes and other videos. This is face yoga. Now, face yoga is very important. You probably know that. I mean, any yoga, any exercise is important. Why would the face be any different? When we exercise the face, we improve circulation, microcirculation, which also microcirculation can be improved with microcurrent. I love it. Lately, I have not used any devices because of time restriction. I probably in the future will invest in a more powerful microcurrent that only needs to be used here and there instead of daily, but that's besides the point. I do believe in microcurrent as a modality because it improves the microcirculation in the skin, in the body. Anyways, so with face yoga, I do like to include face yoga in the routines, and if you like any particular exercise, just include it in your routine, because obviously everything only responds to consistency. If you do something that's very effective once, it's not going to have any effect on you. Now, when we stretch the face, I sometimes cue you to push your chin forward or to overlap your bottom lip and push, stuff like that. I've cued you many times. You can also massage your face, massage the mentalis, the depressors. A lot of you ask me, and I myself have to pay attention to the corners of the lips not getting pulled down, and part of it is the depressors pulling, but the other part is just the skin laxity. So when we do face exercises, we improve the skin tone and the circulation in the skin, so more turnover, and it has an overall toning, anti-aging, which I don't like that word, it's youthifying effect. But youthifying also, we shouldn't think that we're meant to stay youthful. I feel that my goal is to look my age, but just happy and healthy at my age. That's my goal. That's why I don't hide it, and I've never intended to. So one thing is to always include the face awareness within your yoga practice, to relax the face, so that you're not taking your one particular face pattern and just keeping it. Like, say, if you have if you wrinkle your forehead, if you create the 11s, if you have tension, that's more of my issue, is tension along here, along the jaw. I'm Aries Taurus, so both my jaws, unless I pay attention, I'll store tension there. And we all have, a lot of you have tension in the neck, so that can be considered part of the face, in the sense that the neck pulls the face muscles and it can create tension in the face and wrinkles and aging in the face. So always include your face in the routines. I have specifically routines with face exercises. I have a class called Mentalis for this muscle, which is important. Depressors, which can pull the lips down. Platysma is always included in the classes with the neck exercises. I can dedicate in the future more classes to certain face muscles, which I did for one period of classes, but I can go back to that. I cue you to flex the upper face muscles, oculi, and all of the muscles that are in the middle and upper portion of the face. Very important, and I find that one to be important for eye bags. Now, I've gotten that question a lot, and again, I want to say this is not my expertise. I'm not a face yoga specialist, but with eye bags, I've had that issue when I had mold exposure, because eye bags are an indicator of kidneys. If they are more of a water type eye bags, if they're more toxicity, gray area, lower, they are liver, or it could be other things too. But mostly, for example, I get eye bags if I eat too much sodium. So I mostly have my sodium, but sodium is important. So I get my sodium mostly, but not exclusively, from Irish moss and celery, but I do include certain salts, just high quality salts in my diet as well. But then if I overdo it, I will wake up with eye bags, and then I would flex that area, and they drain, because that's kind of like lymphatic drainage. You can do massage on the face, of course, if you have time. It's always good, or just briefly when you're applying your oils or cream, but you can also flex the face, stretch the face, kind of like yawning, but also flexing here. I don't know if I'm doing it, because all of this stuff has to be done on the mirror, but you can form an O and flex the area underneath the eyes. Then you can flex the area out to kind of build the cheeks. So now I have done two things. Let me get to the point. I have done two things. One is include more and more through the years awareness of the face during class. Not every single class, but I try to stretch the face and to lift the chin, to stretch the neck, etc., because of course the neck would affect the face. And I have included a face exercise device. Now I almost was not gonna share it, because I don't want to show you more stuff to buy, but at the same time, for myself, I am not going to do 20 minutes a day of yoga for the face, not because it's bad, but because it's a lot of time to commit for life. So I've included a face exercise device, and I bought this 2-3 years ago, but I consistently started using it in the last 6 months, and it's this device. Now you put it in the corners of your lips and you press the lips together, and it has 3 stages of rubber bands I am at the highest stage and I double band it. Actually, there is 6 ounce, 8 ounce, 14 ounce. I put 14 ounce and an 8 ounce, and it loosens over time, and then you change the bands. And the way to think about this is like dumbbells. It's a little more effective to do this with a dumbbell than to do it without, but you could do it without. So if you don't want to buy a device, you definitely can do it without, but I personally would not experience for myself the same result. So you could do it without and you could experience amazing results, but for myself, if I can get this, I would it's no comparison. It's only 2 minutes a day, and I do it in the morning when I wake up. I prefer to do it in front of the mirror so I can flex while I squeeze in. I'm not going to show you because it's really weird looking. At first it was extremely weird looking, now it's becoming okay, but I like it so much that I actually ordered the second one for Johnny. While I flex, you actually have to flex with tucking the lips under. If you don't tuck them under, you are gonna get lip lines eventually if you're older. If you're young, maybe you're not prone to crinkling your face. But anyways, you tuck your lips under and you bring this in, and it has a lot of resistance, and you're employing all of these muscles, and at the same time I'm flexing either here or here. I do see immense results from it. Nothing like surgery or intervention, to keep things in perspective. Just as far as natural things you can do at home for 2 minutes, the results are great and big. I got one for Johnny, and he says that so far he's not seeing much, but he's also not as consistent as I am, and he just started recently. I bought it long ago, and I think since then the company is not as easy to find. I'll list it below. I think they only sell it on their website. Back in the day, I think I bought it from it might have been Amazon or that infomercial website. I think it was like an infomercial type of thing, and back then it was $30-something. Now I think it was $60-something, and even at that price, I think it never breaks. You just change the rubber bands, you can use it for years. So I personally think it's worth it. You may feel it's kind of like when you touch it, it's like this is not worth the price, but you're paying for the patent. It's an American company, etc. So you don't have to do it, and you can definitely do resistance with your fingers, but just in name of disclosure, I can't get the same results in the same amount of time in such a concise way without resistance. So to me, it's like a dumbbell for the face. I like it. It's small. I use it daily. The oil that I've been absolutely loving, not only I do have Tamano, argan, and other oils, but this oil has SPF, natural SPF. I put it in the morning. It's really, really good. I'll list it below. Raspberry oil. I got the 8-ounce bottle because I'll use it for my body in summer. It has SPF and it's just phenomenal. Red raspberry seed oil. It has SPF UVA and UVB protection, not as much as super high factor sunscreen, but it's pretty good for an oil. And if you don't live in a very sunny climate, it's probably could be even enough. Now, before I decided to do this video and tell you about this, as I told you, I was hesitant to offer you another idea about product because it's again a purchase, so I wasn't sure I want to share this with you, but you've asked me many times, and I prefer to do this over 20 minutes of yoga a day. It's been effective more than I would have imagined, but at the same time, the face responds to exercise really quickly because the muscles are shorter. So it makes sense that the face would respond to exercise. Now, it's also good for the skin, not only for the muscles and the tightness of the muscles in the face and the skin, but also for the it beautifies the skin. Anyways, let's keep going. Now, I decided to order 2 more a month ago, exercise devices that are American made. I specifically looked for American made because it's full of Chinese devices that are without like a person behind them. They may be just a knockoff or something. So I specifically looked for American made devices because I wanted to review them for you. If I'm gonna make this video, I thought I'm just gonna look. So I found 2 more devices and I've had them for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or don't take my word. Those things work fast anyways. You can know within the first day to the first 2 weeks the effects, but they do build up. Now this one is seems to be geared, I forget the name exactly, FitFlex or something. It's geared towards younger audience, I feel, because it says it's for evening the 2 sides of the face, for acne, and bad breath, halitosis. So it doesn't even talk about the jawline or face muscles, etc. But those 2 sides go deep in the cheeks, and you're supposed to press them in. It's not nearly, it's around $20. It's not, but it's not nearly as efficient as this one. So I would still do this one. I only bought it to let you know about it because I thought this is so efficient that if there is another one at this efficacy but a little different target, well, it's worth it. It's, as I said, it's like props, and it's also as like weights. Instead of doing all of this, you do it with weights, and the resistance is so big that it tightens the muscles. It helps a lot. Now this one is developed by dentist, and it's developed for TMJ, and she markets it for bigger lips. I would say she's Iranian. She doesn't mention that, but she has the name. And as you know, Johnny is half Iranian, so I thought she seems Iranian. Anyways, I think she's an LA dentist, and she has developed this. It's expensive. This one is $85, and I thought long before I bought it, but I thought, well, I'll make the video and I'll review it, so I can talk to you about face exercise devices and give you like a full picture of them, because the one that I have, the name escapes me right now. I'll write it below. That one is absolutely enough. It's so phenomenal, but this one is a complement to that one. Now she uses it in a vertical way and in horizontal way and in a vertical way. I don't feel that in a vertical way it's enough, because this one has the rubber bands added to it, so it's far better. Maybe I'll show you the vertical way. The vertical way is between the lips, not on the teeth. And you're supposed to say ah, so you're lifting the corners of the lips. After I do it, I do notice that my lips have far more tone, and my corners are almost like it's almost like I'm lifting them on purpose. Like I was showing Johnny the before and after, and he's like, stop lifting your lips, like just relax your lips, so I can see the results. And I'm like, no, that is it, that's how they look. Now she has a third way of using it, and that was my curiosity. You push your chin forward to release the TMJ, so it can even and balance the face based on that. I personally like anything that has to do with relaxing the bottom jaw and pressing it forward type of exercise. I do it in classes without devices, so I invite you to join those classes. They're sprinkled through the website and a few are on YouTube, but this seems to be very good. She recommends you using it 1 minute 3 times a week. Since I got it, I've been using it almost daily for 1 minute. I actually don't measure how long, I just do it a few times, and I do specifically the one that you push the chin forward because I'm interested in anything that softens and relaxes the jaw. I have a very tight jaw, although I don't have any pain. I have a tight bite, and it's not necessarily fixable unless I redo my whole jaw. Like if I do complete redo of my jaw, which I'm not, gonna do. Or at least that's what my dentist told me years ago, and that's a big job and it's very traumatic to the mouth. But anyways, I'm interested in anything that softens the jaw. As I said, I don't have pain, I just have a tight jaw. And I've become aware. I developed that tight jaw way before I started yoga. I was already having tight jaw when I started yoga, so I don't know if that was something that I was gonna be able to correct had I started, say, at 15. But anyways, I started after it has been already developed, but maybe it's kept me from further, tightening. Anyways, there is another device that specifically lengthens that area that I haven't tried. Maybe in the future I will if I decide to do a review or something. But I thought I'll start with this, and it feels like it does relax things, and it is marketed as again evening the face. This one is also for the jaw, which I think is the most important area to tighten, along with, if you yourself flex, you tighten this area as well, but it won't tighten it for you unless you specifically flex along with it, which is that action and also that action. So exercise in front of the mirror and figure it out with or without device. You don't really, as I said, don't necessarily need a device, but if you don't have a device, you have to put a little more time daily into it and just figure the exercises yourself. So I'll list them below. I personally, if you're to get one, I recommend this one. This one, I think, is quite valuable for that lower jaw thing, and if you wanna upkeep your lips. It does seem, I wouldn't say it makes them bigger or anything, which that's her, she says that it makes them bigger. I think it slightly changes their shape because obviously it strengthens the muscles around here. What I noticed right after exercise is my cupid's bow, it's really defined and almost like they're lifted, cupid's bows themselves. So it does something to the muscles around the mouth, which I think anything that improves circulation in your face and strengthens your muscles is worth it. So a little bit unconventional because those are face exercises, but they look weird. I do agree. When I first started using that, I would go in the bathroom and lock it, and I'm like, no, I'm coming, I'm doing my exercise, it's not a secret, but I don't want you to see me with it in my mouth. Now, you get used to whatever you're doing. I also turned Johnny onto it because I feel it does work, and as I mentioned, it won't give you facelift type effects. It's not going to substitute for, if it's not going to look like you had an intervention. But it tightens things and it improves the quality of your skin. Some people do find that their skin, acne, etc., is a little better, or even the skin tone, the color, etc., because of course circulation. So that's all I've been doing. As far as my skincare, I've simplified vitamin C. In the morning I put vitamin C when I can remember, and this. Sometimes I'll do, if I'm gonna be in the sun, I'll do sunblock, Kula. But I try not to overburden my skin with sunblock, so right now I just have this and vitamin C serum, and at night I do the retin A, and I think the retin A has taken my routine down to just 2 products. At night I'll do the retin A and that oil that I shared with you from Johnny's cousin, which is rose 24 karat oil in olive oil. I don't find it to break me out or anything. It seems to be really good for the skin, but also for trauma, which if I have tension, maybe it's helping also with tension, because it's meant to affect the spiritual body, because she's a herbalist healer, not so much about cosmetics and such, but more about healing and energy healing. So that's pretty much, if I have to break it down to 4 products, that's what I'm using. I'll try to mention below. So basically in the morning, vitamin C and raspberry oil, at night retin A, and I do have other products, but I have basically condensed it down to these 4 things, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and it's been good. There is always more that I would like to get from my skin, or to have from my skin, but this has been good as far as just accepting where I am and doing something that in some way keeps it going. I think that's all I want to say. In conclusion of the products, I would recommend this one. Again, why do I forget the name? Maybe because I haven't looked at the name for so long. I've had it for so long that it's out of my mind. It's Facial Flex, I think. Unless Facial Flex was that other one, the ball for the jaw. There is one that is marketed towards men for building the jaw, which I think gives a whole tone to the face. But I feel that it might not be that good for TMJ. This one, pretty good. There was some of the reviews saying it's a piece of plastic. I mean, if you know what you expect to receive in the mail, it's just patented. It's designed by dentists over years of experience. You're not really paying for the materials included, which is just kind of like a small plastic device, but you're paying towards the development of the product, and it's an American product, American made, American company, etc. So you understand, you know how small business works. It's not mass produced, and she didn't steal the design from something. This one, it's sturdy, it's metal, and it's very strong metal, plastic part, so probably it can last a decade, I'm sure. And I hope they don't discontinue it, because it seems like you can't find it anywhere but on their own website. Back in the day when I bought it, it was everywhere. I could find it on different website, or QVC, or whatever that is, that marketing website, infomercial website. Now it seems like it might be only on their website. I'll take a quick search and see, and I'll post it below. But that's in conclusion. Do your face yoga during your classes. You can develop a whole face yoga routine if you have 10 to 20 minutes a day. But you need the commitment long term, the way you commit to yoga, and include some devices if you feel like you could include a little extra exercise in your routine, and you want to do it in a short period of time. So between those 2 devices, it's really 3 minutes a day. And you could do other stuff. I like to focus in the mirror, because when you flex here, I'm repeating myself, but I think it will be important to some of you, it does drain the backs. I don't know if I did it today, because I probably had sodium last night, but on most days, for someone that had problems with my eye bags after the mold exposure, most days I have no bags whatsoever, which is a big achievement for me, because after I never really had bags, and then after my mold exposure, I did develop permanent ones for a few years. It really bothered me. Because it's a sign of an organ not being healthy. You could do lymphatic drainage, you could do different things, but mostly affecting from within the organs is really great. And if you just have temporary bags one morning, when you do this or anything else, and you flex here, it drains them. It moves the water out, the lymph out. So that's about it. I don't want to keep going. 30 minutes is way longer than I thought I'll do this for. So if you have any questions, I will try to include every muscle, not every, there's 50 something muscles in the face, but I will try to include the major. I would separate it maybe in areas of the face, either for stretching, such as the mentalis and the depressors, or you don't want to strengthen them further, they shorten, and that's kind of what pulls the chin in and the lips down and all of that, but I'll try to include different areas of the face. What I forgot to mention, because someone asked me about my forehead, I do not feel that my forehead is wrinkle free. Someone said, how do you keep it wrinkle free? I feel I stopped wrinkling it in my in my teens and even my 20s. I just always was like this, and because I'm a thinker, of course, and I think I taught myself to stop, to not overdo the eyebrows. I probably still do them unconsciously, but I taught myself to stop. But when I do an exercise, this or whatever, I kind of stretch my eyebrows away from each other and flex here. So I flex the temporalis and I just flex, and that feels very connecting. I do have one eyebrow that's way more active, so I have a little more here. And when you do your exercises, that's actually, shouldn't forget about that. When you do your exercises, whether with devices or not, do it in the mirror. And if you happen to create wrinkles from the exercises, maybe here, you're gonna hold those wrinkles and you're not gonna let them happen. Now with how you use your lips, if you do a or you're gonna prevent wrinkles from happening while you exercise. Very important. Don't do exercises that wrinkle your lips, because you know that goes without saying. You don't want to add wrinkles to your face. But if you notice that this is where you're having wrinkle during the exercise, you're just gonna block the wrinkles from forming while you do your exercises. Sometimes I stretch this one. I only have one eyebrow that is more active than the other, and sometimes, not often, not even once a week, I would do this. Not overly focused on that one particular area. It doesn't bother me, but you know what I mean. As far as this was worth mentioning, to not repeatedly create wrinkles, especially if you do the same exercise every day. Anyways, I highly recommend, from everything I said, I highly recommend the raspberry oil. This I recommend it, but within, if you're willing to, if it's within your budget. I do recommend it. It's not, I think this is more effective. This is effective in its own right, and I'm only a couple of weeks in using it, so maybe I'll come back in months and months and months. Maybe in 5 months I'll let you know. I won't stop because it's effective enough for me to do it daily. I'm actually looking forward to it. Something about, it's almost like unlocking the jaw, because you do it so you do kind of push it forward and it relaxes. And she is a TMJ, I think, specialist, so this is something she's developed in order to help her patients, that she does their dental work. Probably she does braces and all of that, but she's developed this as something that people can do to correct their smile and lips and just overall everything. So as far as lips goes, I think this is good, but it's far more important to work on the jaw and the muscles here. This one I forgot to mention, definitely tightens the area under the chin. It just really works on all of this on the bottom of the face, but by default it works on the entire face. But with flexing first here and then here, it does work on the upper face. And by you flexing your forehead, it works on the forehead, but you have to put the mental effort. Anyways, I hope this was clear enough, because unless you've done face exercises, all of this is kind of like just out there language. But I hope it gave you ideas, and it was clear enough. And I promise I will continue with certain face stuff in the yoga classes. All right, thanks for being with me for 35 minutes almost, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.